Here is the real story about crime in Washington, D.C. A lot of people don't realize how fast things changed. When President Trump sent the National Guard into the city, crime rates started dropping sharply. We're talking big declines in robberies, carjackings, and assaults. That's not just numbers on a chart. People on the ground felt it. Families noticed safer streets almost immediately, and law enforcement suddenly had the backup they needed even though they say they didn't ask for it. Critics try to say that crime was already down, but that's not true. But the sharpest drop came after the troops arrived, and that's the difference that strong leadership can make. Instead of waiting on local politics, Trump simply acted. He took direct command of the Washington, D.C. Police Department, which was legal and in his right as president, and he put resources in place to get results. You can always debate his style, but you can't deny the outcome. The streets are calmer and residents feel more secure. That's what leadership is supposed to deliver. Results. And for the first time in a long time, DC is seeing that. So here's the question, and I don't like asking this because I already know the answer, but was this the right call? And the answer is yes. Or should Trump just have left things the way they were, crime in the streets, running rampant?
Well, it's been about a week since President Trump seized Washington, D.C., putting ATF, police, FBI, a bunch of law enforcement in D.C., and the statistics are out, and I'm going to explain to you what exactly happened and how the crime rate looks in D.C. as of right now. All right, government data shows in the week beginning August 12th to now, property crimes dropped roughly 19% compared to the week before, and then violent crime also dropped by 17%. Data shows there have been no murders in Washington, D.C. since August 13th, but there has been a spike in immigration arrests. 300 immigrants have been arrested in D.C. since August 7th, which is reportedly a huge increase in that area. For everyone watching living in the DMV, do you think an increase in police presence was needed in the DMV, specifically Washington, D.C., or was this just a little bit of excessive force? I've heard different opinions, so let me know in the comments.
So I'm pretty sure Donald Trump just made pigs fly because the Democrat mayor of Washington, D.C. just publicly thanked President Trump for cleaning up her city's crime problem. We're talking about an 87% drop in carjackings in just 20 days. And that's not even the craziest part. This is the same mayor who used to fight Trump on everything, and now she's standing at a podium praising his federal crime surge like it saved her career. That's because it did. And the internet is going absolutely insane over this footage, and you guys need to see what happened. So my name is Tom. I'm with the Daily Beltway. I'm also publisher of the Illinois Review and a White House correspondent for the Next News Network. So if you're new, Mayor Muriel Bowser admitting Trump was right about law and order. It's so awesome. Check this out.
And we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. The most significant thing that we are highlighting today is the area of crime that was most troubling for us in 2023. Now, we have driven it down over the last years, but I'm going to get my glasses so I can make sure I can see it correctly. But for carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings.
I hope you guys voted for that. I voted for an 87% reduction in carjackings. Let's let her finish.
Carjackings in Washington, D.C. We know that when carjackings go down, when the use of gun goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer and are safer. So this surge has been important to us.
I wonder how she feels inside. Like, is it like really just like, I don't want to do this? I don't know. But did you guys catch the part where she said the federal surge has been important for making neighborhoods safer? This is the same Democrat who painted Black Lives Matter on the street to spite Trump. And let me break down these numbers for you because they're actually insane. Carjackings are down 87%, violent crime down 45%, over 1,000 arrests, and 200 illegal firearms off the street, all in just 20 days of federal intervention. So drop a comment below. Do you think more cities need Trump's federal crime surge, like Chicago, for example? Now, I want to hear your thoughts on this massive victory for law and order because I voted for this. Let me know if you did too. So Trump deployed the FBI, DEA, U.S. Marshals, and National Guard to take back D.C.'s streets from criminals who thought they owned the place. And business owners are reporting that they feel safe for the first time in years. And this is where it all changes for everyone. The woke mob said federal intervention was fascism. They screamed about defunding the police and called it a law and order, the R word. And now their own Democrat mayor is thanking Trump for doing exactly what they said could not be done. And social media exploded when this footage dropped, which is why we're all covering it. So anyways, conservative TikTok is celebrating while liberals are having a complete meltdown because this destroys their entire narrative. So if you got value from this news update, please tap follow. My opinion is next. It's so awesome to see this stuff happening. It's so good. And here's what this really means for America. When a liberal Democrat mayor is the most progressive city has to publicly thank Trump for fixing what she couldn't, that's not just politics. That's like reality slapping ideology in the face. For years, we were told that tough on crime policies don't work, that we need to address the root causes, that more police equals more oppression. But Trump just proved all of that wrong in 20 days. This isn't about Republican versus Democrat anymore. It's about results versus rhetoric. And DC residents can walk their streets without fear because Trump chose action over excuses. And the mainstream media won't cover the story because it destroys their narrative that Trump's policies are extreme. But when even his biggest critics have to admit that he's getting results, that says everything about who's actually fighting for the American people. And this is what happens when you put America first instead of criminals first. When you choose law and order over chaos and anarchy, and when you believe in protecting innocent people more than protecting the feelings of activists. Our republic deserves leaders who deliver results, not politicians who make excuses. And again, Trump promised to make America safe again, and he's proving every single day that he means business. And you guys can call this Trump glazing all you want. I voted for less crime. And so share this video everywhere because Americans need to see what real leadership looks like. And the truth is spreading faster than the lies, and videos like this are why. God bless.
They're complaining now that the crime is going down right now. They're complaining for no fucking reason. Like, they're little fucking screaming, they're protesting. I feel like I'm hearing this. What do we want? Carjackings. What do we want? Robberies. What do we want? Violence. What do we want? Murders.
Are you serious? You think people are protesting because they want crime? What reality are you living in? What would make you think that? Let me explain what's going on because obviously your reality is distorted. People are protesting because they feel like the National Guard is in overreach because before they arrived there, crime was already trending down. And they don't want troops in their city. They want to restore local control back to DC. And they want to protect civil liberties for everyone, including you and immigrants. They want them to be a part of their community. And yes, I hate to break it to you, they do want low crime. Nobody wants crime in their cities. But in order to achieve this, they need to invest in long-term programs that are proven to work. They need resources, not troops on the ground. Because at the end of the day, soldiers and checkpoints only deliver short-term gains, unless they're stationed there permanently. And who in the hell wants that? I don't. And the main concern is normalization of soldiers policing civilians and expanding troops into other cities. That's what they do in North Korea. We don't want that here in the United States. And ask yourself, why are we being censored? Who's responsible for it? Take a guess. It's not Joe Biden. Feel free to leave a comment below. I want to know what you think. Are we cooked as a nation with this mentality?
This is not a drill. This is a military occupation on America.
And the poor old lonely gingerbread man is looking for friends, folks. That's right. He's doing a national recruiting effort right now. He says the time for talking is over. I'm demanding action. Calling all gravy seals back to action, folks. A military occupation is underway in the country. You wouldn't know a military occupation if it jumped up and slapped you right in those little cheeks of yours. But dude, your nation is healing. It's a beautiful thing right now what our country is going through right now. Having lost everything in this country under the Biden administration, it does take efforts like this to clean it up and to stand beside her, that's right, your country, and guide her through the night with the light from above. We are saving this country from sea to shining sea, gingerbread man. And if you and your people out there don't like it, well, stand up. You say, the time for speaking is over? I demand action? Well, what exactly are you demanding? What sort of action are you looking for?
So we all know Donald Trump is trying to paint Washington, D.C. as some sort of crime-ridden war zone to justify bringing in the military. But here's the thing, that's not reality. The actual data contradicts him. This is a dangerous game that he's playing. This guy replied to Donald Trump's Truth Social statement claiming that Washington, D.C. has become one of the most dangerous cities in the world, asking Gronk, has violent crime been on the decline in Washington, D.C.? And look at the answer. It turns out it has. As of August 8th, it's down 26% year-to-date versus 2024. With homicides down 12%, robberies 28%, assaults with deadly weapons 20%, and abuse 49%. This continues a trend from 2024's 35% drop, the lowest in 30-plus years. See, this is exactly how authoritarian leaders operate. They invent a fake crisis so they can swoop in with an emergency solution that just so happens to give them more power. Trump is pretending that crime in D.C. is out of control. However, it's actually been dropping significantly. So why lie? Because if you can convince people that there's chaos in the streets, then you can justify sending in the troops, putting the city under heavy federal control, and undermining local governance. Dictators have done this throughout history. They exaggerate danger, claim they're the only ones who can fix it, then use that as a cover to take away freedoms.
Is it money well spent for the troops going to D.C.? This reminds me of being a PFC in the Marine Corps. PFC, preferred for cleanup. I'm gonna be tough on crime. Not really. I'm just going to be tough on area beautification. Nobody's ever seen landscaping like this before. It's just like Baghdad, except Baghdad's all sand, but it's just like it. We've got weed eaters. Nobody's ever seen area beautification like this before. We've got the best weed eaters and the best trash bags. It's going to be so beautiful. Nobody's ever seen anything like it before. Give me a fucking break. Semper Fi, Gunny out.
We have a thing going on right now in D.C. We went from the most unsafe place anywhere to a place that now friends are calling me up, Democrats are calling me up, and they're saying, sir, I want to thank you. My wife and I went out to dinner last night for the first time in 4 years, and Washington, D.C. is safe, and you did that in 4 days. I'll tell you it's safe. I had another friend of mine, he has a son who's a great golfer, he's on tour, and he came in fourth yesterday in the big tournament where Scotty Scheffler made the great shot, and he said his son is going to dinner in Washington, D.C. tonight. I said, would you have allowed that to happen a year ago? He said, no way, no way. He said, what you've done is incredible. And I think the people realize it. But the press says, he's a dictator, he's trying to take over. No, all I want is security for our people. But people that haven't gone out to dinner in Washington, D.C. in 2 years are going out to dinner. And the restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time. Thank you for the question.
DC crime down big this year. Violent crime down 26%, robberies 28%, homicides 11%. That's the trend since the Biden years. So why is the president suddenly calling it a war zone and sending in the Guard? Because if things are already getting better, you can show up, do nothing, then point at the chart and say, look what I fixed. And it just happens to drop right after we learn his name shows up in the Epstein files over 100,000 times. You heard me. 100,000 times. It's an old play. Flood the news with fear so no one notices what's hiding in the fine print. If this works here, guess what's next?